Okay, dude, you ready?
I know words, I have the best words.
The story of there being a third eye awakening can pretty much be found in almost every spiritual tradition. Whether it be Jesus saying, "Let thy eye be single," or from Buddhists and Hindus, you see this cultural imagery scattered all through their cultural imagery. Shiva has a third eye. But I think there is a very big misunderstanding, given the New Age movement, that the third eye awakening experience is a literal event that takes place of some activation of some inner eye that literally wakes up. My understanding, and other people have different understandings, but my understanding is that the third eye awakening experience is a metaphor for spiritual realization. A third eye awakening is a metaphor for a transcendent experience in which you saw beyond the limitations of your visual senses. The veil of your senses was removed, in which you were able to perceive more of reality, whether this be naturally or through psychedelics, meditation, yoga. There's tons of different ways we have this realization, but people have it nonetheless. I've had experiences naturally where this has been shown to me, whether it be through meditation or whether it be through an intense psychedelic ceremony. I think this happens to all of us, because when I look back on life, I can remember moments where it all just clicked. It all just made sense, and I feel like maybe you can probably do the same thing. You know, you go outside and you look up, or you travel, and it just hits you. And you try your best to grab a hold of any kind of thought to explain it, but there is no thought to explain it. It's just a presence, it's just a beingness, a stillness. And when it does happen, most of us don't have the proper context to grab a hold of the experience and to utilize it in the most spiritually beneficial kind of way. It's almost like when you have an intense dream or something like this. When you have an intense dream, it just goes away. Your ego takes control once you wake up. All your sort of problems, conditioning, memories start to pop up, and it just fades. And 10 minutes later, you forget this wild trip you just went on. People that practice lucid dreaming, for example, have a better grip at grabbing a hold of their dreams. So in the same way, if you have a spiritual practice, a practice where you are keeping your attention focused inwardly, then you have a better chance at grabbing a hold of when these experiences happen to you. So it's important to have a spiritual practice, and it's not easy. It's not easy. That's why it's called a practice. To me, what a third eye awakening experience is when the seer, the seeing, and the seen all merge together into a unity, when the judgment of separation is evaporated and you are able to see that there is this oneness, Advaita is what the Hindus call it, when there is this non-dual perception that is birthed from within you, from within to the outside. It's not that there's some hidden information being accessed in your pineal gland or something like that, which there is some mysterious qualities of the pineal gland. You're not actually accessing any information that's not always available to you. Activating a gland isn't necessary for spiritual awakening. It's always here, in all moments, in the moment, the now. This is where all information is. All information is always present. Truth, true information, not temporary happenings. Which everything is a temporary happening, but there is some eternal presence within the moment that is always available to you. No external force or no external tool is necessary. We're too attached to our thoughts. We're always chasing this endless pursuit of our thoughts, which keeps us distracted from being able to see this truth in front of us. This oneness in front of us. All it is just a shift in awareness. It's just a shift in your perspective. We're always thinking problems into existence, thinking suffering into existence, and it all comes from attachment. The Buddha said, we suffer because we are attached. So if we can loosen the noose of this ego, loosen this noose of attachment, then there is bliss available to you. There is self-realization available to you. So when we have a spiritual practice, these transcendental moments, when they pop up, we have a better opportunity at grabbing them and utilizing them and merging into them. Being present. As Ram Dass says, be here now. We have a better chance of being here now. And I think this is what an actual third eye awakening is when we're keeping our attention, our inner eye focused, our inner consciousness, our inner awareness, when we are keeping it focused on the source of this I thought. This is what Ramana Maharshi teaches. Keeping your ego, where is the source of your ego? Keeping your inner eye looking, searching through the scraps to find out where this is coming from. Not being lost in the sauce of our outer eyes. When we can get to a place where we're not confused, when we're not confusing reality with our thoughts and with our senses. Alan Watts has a good quote. He says, don't confuse reality with the way you describe it. And this is what so many of us are doing. We're saying, this is this is that. But this is just our description. This is just thought. This doesn't represent truth. There is no words that can represent truth. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. It's just a beingness. And this is just a thought I had while being here at the Pyramids of Giza, because I see so many videos on YouTube of these new age kind of people trying to very mystify this sort of experience and they're just ultimately making you chase the external world even more, taking you on this endless pursuit. How to open your third eye, do this, here's a list of ways to open your third eye. Nothing is required. There's no external thing, no path you need to take to open your third eye. It's always open. It's just we're distracted. It's beyond our thoughts. It is the gap between thoughts in which we are actually searching for. We're walking down paths that lead to dead ends. There is no path you need to take. It's here and it's right now. Spiritual awakening is not dependent on any specific set of circumstances. Just maybe the pineal gland has something to do with this, but ultimately that again is just looking at reality through a magnifying glass. If you want the true picture, or as far as we can grasp, the pineal gland is just a function of all the universe, of all creation that makes it possible for the pineal gland to just exist. There is no one function. There is no one function. Alan Watts said this galaxy is a function of all other galaxies. There's no separateness. There's no separate happening. This should be your spiritual practice. Your practice should just be alleviating your attachment to thoughts. Just kind of let them flow by. You see the way these clouds just gracefully float by and we don't attach ourselves to them, we don't judge them. Even if we tried to attach ourselves to them, we'd fall right through because there's nothing there to grab. Thoughts work the same way. There's nothing there to grab. But for some reason, we are just attaching ourselves and attaching ourselves and attaching ourselves, and we're just grabbing and grabbing as we fall. But just be here. It's all here. Neem Karoli Baba used to say, Sub-ek. It's all one. It's all one. There's no separateness between us. We breathe the same air. We walk the same ground. We're in the same universe. Uni. Uni means one. Verse is like a poem or like a song. The dance of the one, and we're all a part of it. If you like my videos, give this a thumbs up and click subscribe down there. And if you would like to support me in a way that really helps me, I have a t-shirt company. It's called StayHappyStayWeird.com. I'll put the link in the description, and you can buy a t-shirt. It really does truly help me, and you get a cool shirt out of it. I got a ton of cool designs on there. And I also have a Patreon if you would like to support me in a more direct way and a more personal way in which we can communicate, share emails, share ideas. I bought some gifts that I'll be sending to people in the mail. Keep on living your life, being happy and pursuing whatever it is you are pursuing. Don't listen to anything I have to say. I don't know shit about anything, and I'll be the first person to admit it. So, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.